Get used to your breath. Get used to your breath. Become familiar. Become very familiar with your breath. That is why, because we have seen the value of being familiar and used to our breath, we have introduced the breath consciousness chorus. We have introduced the breath consciousness chorus because it's only by singing and tapping into our breath that we become familiar with our breath.
Shaking the thing.
When I sing, I am my breath. I am my breath. I am your breath. I am our breath. And I follow my words with tapping. See, breath tapping is not just an idle term, it's a practice. Practicing getting familiar with your breath, because until you become familiar with your breath will be there, detached from you. Your breath will be there, idle, providing you with 20,000 breaths a day going to waste, because simply you're not familiar with the power of your breath. Your breath is your spirit.
This one, it's shaking the camera. You're going to be going like this.
Your breath is your God. Your breath is sponsoring you. It is your breath that is manifesting you as itself. And if you're not familiar with it, if you're not used to it, if you're not tapping into your breath in your body, you are losing out on the joy of being. Because when we sing our breath chorus, I am my physical breath now. I am my physical breath now. I am my physical breath now. We're simply bringing your attention. We have to cultivate our breath. We have to pay attention to our breath. Because the only things that we get to know are the things we pay attention to. The only things that can serve us are the ones we pay attention to. So, in this conversation, we invite you to become familiar with your breath by singing your breath consciousness chorus. When we sing, I love my breath as me. I love my breath as you. I love my breath as me and you. I do, I do, I do. What we're doing is hooking our consciousness into what is supporting it. What we're doing is anchoring our consciousness in our foundation of our breath, our spirit, our God, our plasma frequencies, our stardust, our physicalness. And what's our intention here? Our intention is for us to go breathful, to live a breathful life, a breath conscious life. People speak of mindfulness. Mindfulness, fullness of what? Filling your mind with what? Words? No. Fill your mind with your breath. Because your breath is the fuel, is the engine of your being. And when you don't know your engine, when you don't know your fuel, when you're not tapping into that fuel of your breath and your spirit and your God, what you are, that's why we turn to drugs. That's why we turn to all kinds of chemicals, because we're not tapping into what we truly are. We're not tapping into our breath. And for anyone who has developed a habit of turning to drugs for satisfaction and security, we say, try your breath. Take 5 minutes of tapping into your breath and feel how satisfied it makes you. Feel how secure it makes you. Feel how fulfilled your breath makes you. But you have to know that this is what your breath is about. Your breath is about expressing you as itself, securing you in itself, satisfying you as itself. So get used to your breath. Get used to your breath as your spirit, your God, as your means and ways of fulfilling and actualizing yourself. Get used to your breath. Sing your breath consciousness choruses. Sing it daily. When you wake up in the morning, begin with, I love my breath as me. And I love my breath as you. I love my breath as me and you. I do, I do, I do. I love and trust my breath as me. I love and trust my breath as you. Wake up in the morning singing that song of breath, love, breathfulness. That song which will fuel every cell in your body, fuel the cells of your brain. That song, wake up in the morning singing that song which knows who you are and what you are. When you sing, the more we breathe consciously together, 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 the more we breathe consciously together, the happier, healthier, wealthier, freer, and sweeter, and wiser, and more connected we will feel, because our breath is our reality. Our breath is our value. Our breath is what gives us our significance and our importance. Our breath is what opens our eyes, our third eye, to the reality of the cosmos, which is promoting us and sponsoring us and maintaining us. It's through your breath and being connected to your breath that you are fulfilled, that you achieve your destiny, that you fulfill your destiny. When you wake up in the morning, instead of reaching for a cigarette, stop for a moment. Take a conscious deep breath. After your lunch, instead of going and reaching and taking a cigarette break, take 5 minutes of breath tapping, because 5 deep breaths will supply your digestive system with the oxygen it needs to process your food. A cigarette at this time only takes out the oxygen out of your body, but 5, 10 deep breaths will restore that fuel to your digestive system. When you become anxious about anything, realize that what's happening, why you have become anxious, is simply because you're not breathing consciously. Why you become nervous is because you're not breathing consciously. The reason why you become paranoid is because you're not breathing consciously. You're not tapping into your breath. We can stop that now by developing your breath tapping habits, by developing a conscious breathing. The only reason why we worry is because we're not breathing consciously. We're not tapping into our breath. We're not hooking our consciousness into our breath and acknowledging our breath as our spirit, our God, as our cosmos. We want to take responsibility now for acknowledging our breath, our spirit, our God as our substance, simply because it is so. And I tell you something, when you begin to acknowledge your breath, when you begin to tap into your breath, when you begin to glorify your breath as your God, as your spirit, when you begin to recognize and embrace your breath, your spirit, your God as yourself, then you will know yourself. And this knowledge of yourself is what will set you free, free from all anxieties, free from all states of ignorance, free from the image-based world in which we live, and the image-based world which we feed with our breath, the image-based world which promises us all kinds of securities and goodies, but truly which depend on our breath for its existence. Because if you don't breathe into your images, they don't exist. If you don't breathe into the physical world around you, it ceases to exist for you. Wake up now. We are in this wonderful universe, this cosmic university, this Reverence for Life university, to learn how to engage what we are, our breath, and then to turn around and consciously to convert our breath, our spirit, our God into our experiences of ourselves, to convert our breath, our spirit, our God into the elements of ether, air, water, fire, and earth frequencies which we experience as ourselves. Because there's no division between you and what is sponsoring you. And your breath is the God that is sponsoring you. So be happy. Sing your chorus. Enjoy your life. Eat, drink, and be merry, because the cosmos, your breath, has provided a universe of goodies for you. All of the images, fragrances, textures, tastes, and sounds constitute your 5-course meal, which you wake up to every morning. You don't have anything else to do other than to partake of the feast of life, the feast of all of the images which you are seeing, all of the fragrances which you're smelling, all of the textures which you're feeling, all of the foods which you're tasting, all of the sounds you're making. Every one of these different frequencies presented in the forms that they come as images, fragrances, textures, tastes, and sounds. Every one of those meals is full of the breath frequencies that give it value, that give you your value. So get used to your breath. It is your life. Tap into your breath. It is your life. You cannot neglect who you are and feel your beauty, and you are your breath. You cannot avoid and be ignorant of who you are and get the joy and the blessings of being who you are. You cannot outsource responsibility for your breath to some religion, to some preacher, to some church. Because if you outsource your breath, responsibility for your breath, and create these instruments and then depend on them for your life, you will not be satisfied. You will not feel the security which only your breath can give you. So go in now. Get used to your breath. Love your breath. Enjoy your breath. Tap into your breath, because you cannot exhaust the supplies that your breath has in store for you, but only as you open, as you pay attention to, as you tap into your breath, can you gain the benefits of having your breath. 20, 25,000 breaths a day. If you don't know that this is your true wealth, if you do not know that this is your true happiness, your true health, your true source of freedom, your true sweetness, if you don't recognize that your breath is who you are, you cannot enjoy the benefits of being this glorious, magical being that you are. So get used to your breath now. Pay attention to your breath. Tap into your breath. Make it a habit. Yes. And you will indeed experience the paradise that is in you. I am, I am, I am, I am. My breath of paradise. You are, you are, you are, you are. Your breath of paradise. We are, we are, we are, we are. Our breath of paradise. Breathing and pulsating consciously forever. Get used to yourself. Get used to your breath as yourself. For you are infinite, immortal, eternal, omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. You are your breath.